Hello everyone, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. Today we are going to be doing a quick little reading to see what your person's current thoughts are about you and about the connection that you share with one another. With that said, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. If it does not resonate with you, then it is not meant for you. For pile 1, we have yellow mookaite. For pile 2, we have snowflake obsidian. And for pile 3, we have sodalite. Hello, pile 1, my yellow mookaite pile. Let's take a look at what your person is currently thinking about you and about the connection that you share with them. Okay, let's see my pile 1s. What is your person currently thinking about the connection that you both share? Okay, we've got the 8 of Wands starting us out. The 4 of Wands. And we have the 10 of Cups. So for me, something that I feel like could be occurring here between the both of you is that this was a connection that might have started off like very hot and heavy. I feel like the 8 of Wands to me, it will perhaps imply something a little bit more casual. It could imply like certain aspects of this connection were rushed even, or they might have felt like a rush either to you or to your person. I also feel like too, between the chemistry, the attraction, the dating period, etc., things must have went very smoothly. Or things are going very smoothly between the both of you. Because for some reason, the 8 of Wands, like, it's not just bringing me, maybe we were physical with one another, like physically intimate with one another. It's not just bringing me, like, maybe certain aspects of the connection were rushed. But I also feel like the feelings between the both of you grew very rapidly as well. Like the attraction and the chemistry that the two of you felt toward one another, it really allowed for the connection to get stronger and stronger, like with ease, basically. You know, like it was just very obvious that you were into them, they were into you. Communication was always something that was easy between the both of you. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest. Because obviously, if this is not sounding like you and your connection with your person, then this message might not be for you. But the 8 of Wands is also bringing me that things moved rapidly between the both of you because things were quote unquote easy. You know, like the two of you got along very well right off the bat. There was/has been minimal issues between the both of you. Communication is something that's very free-flowing between the both of you. The chemistry and the attraction fueled the romantic feelings that the both of you had for one another. So it's just bringing me this indication that this person's thinking about how easy this relationship or this connection has been. And I feel like a huge part of that is because there is a real strong bond and connection between you and your person. With that 4 of Wands, that to me is highlighting that something that might have started off like quickly or certain aspects of it might have been rushed. They actually are working out or will work out for the better in regard for this connection because it's also leading the two of you towards stability and security. Now, something, let's say for couples that have been together for a hot minute, I feel like what this could be indicating is that something is going to happen very soon in regard to this connection, whether it's moving in with one another or whether it's getting engaged. It just feels like something is going to happen soon into the near future that's going to move this connection forward. And the same could maybe even be said for those of us that are in a connection that is newer or fresher. Not so much maybe in the sense of moving in with one another or getting proposed to or getting engaged, but more so in the sense of if this is something that for right now we're just dating this person, it's still casual, etc., whatever the case might be, this person is rapidly wanting to settle down. You know, like they want to make this connection more stable and secure. They want to commit. You know, like so if this is casual right now, this person wants commitment. And I feel like very soon into the near future, because of that 8 of Wands, this person is going to, you know, do whatever they have to do, whether that's ask you out, whether that's ask you to be exclusive, etc., and so on. The 4 of Wands and the 10 of Cups to me would imply that this person looks at you as marriage material. It's going to indicate that their romantic feelings for you are very strong, and they feel like this bond between you both is also very strong. You know, like they have this, with the 10 of Cups, they see a future with you, and they are doing whatever it is that they need to do in order to get to that future that they feel that they have with you. So I do hope that that makes sense, my pile ones. I'm going to get a couple of oracle cards out here. Just for any further messages, let's say, that we could maybe get. But for me, it just seems as though this person's planning on doing something very soon into the near future. I feel like, for the most part, things have been smooth sailing in regard to this relationship. You know, it just seems as though and I feel like there's a reason for that, which is a good reason, which is that the two of you are really into one another. The two of you feel this special bond between the both of you. And that's why things have felt so easy. Not that it's always been sunshine and unicorns, and not that it will always be this easy, because even the most quote-unquote perfect of relationships is going to have some trials and tribulations, some storms that they have to weather together. But I do feel like, for the most part, this relationship has been easy because the two of you, you know, are really into one another. You know, like the two of you really do, especially for, like, let's say more serious connections, like the two of you really do love one another. If this is a newer connection, I'm just struggling to pick a card up off the floor right now. But if this is a newer connection, I feel like the two of you are, you know, really like one another, let's say. And this has been a sort of easygoing, smooth sailing connection because the two of you are really good at communication. The two of you both want a lot of the same things. When it comes to your futures, the two of you have strong feelings for one another. And overall, it's just bringing me smooth sailing, easygoing types of vibes. So I do hope that that makes sense. We start out with the sword and the rose. What I mainly want to focus on in that card is the clarity and the truth message of it. And I feel like that's one of the aspects of this connection that is very strong and making the two of you stronger together. And the clarity and the truth is mainly bringing me that this is what it's like to communicate between the both of you. You know, if one of you needs clarity, the other person's willing to give it. They're not going to shut down. You know, I feel like, again, one of the strongest aspects of this connection is the communication between the both of you. So you're both very truthful and honest. You're both very trustworthy, you know, toward one another, whatever the case might be. I just feel like communication is very open and healthy within this connection. And that's something that, you know, is leading this relationship, let's say, toward success or toward having a successful, happy, healthy relationship into the future. We've got the butterfly. Okay, your relationship is evolving to the next phase. And I do feel like regardless of if you're just dating this person or if we've been with this person and been exclusive with this person, your connection is moving on and moving forward. So if we're dating, if we're maybe just casual for now, we're going to be exclusively dating this person. If we've been you know, let's say maybe testing the waters or whatever the case might be, we're becoming exclusive with this person. Our relationship is becoming more committed toward one another. I feel like even maybe for connections that we're not really anything romantic to one another yet, but this is maybe someone who, you know, you're getting to know, like a friend, let's say, that it could go either way. We could either be friends or we could be romantic. Even in that regard, I feel like there's definitely potential for this person to, like, the communication or even like the clarity that they're going to be giving you in order to move the relationship between you both forward could be them asking you out. So whatever the case might be, I feel like this is good news across the board, regardless of where it is that you are at with your current connection. Okay, we have Meow. And Meow is having fun, trying to fit in, being playful, modeling after others, being whimsical, and free-spirited. For me, I'm mainly just picking up on that the two of you are having a lot of fun together, which I feel like makes sense because the Eight of Wands to me is a card of passion. It's a card of chemistry. It's a card of action in the sense of experiencing and exploring new things together. So ultimately, I feel like the both of you are having a like fun, exciting time together, whether we're in a new and fresh relationship or connection or we've been together for a hot minute. My other thing, though, that I find interesting on this card is the modeling after others. And I feel like this is actually in a good way. Like, you and your person have had examples of happy and healthy relationships in your lives, throughout your lives, whether it's when you were growing up or they were growing up, whether it's certain friendships that you have right now, maybe even mutual friends for some of us, or whether it's just, again, we've had good examples of happy, healthy, loving relationships. And we're trying to, or maybe that's even part of like the values that the two of you have in common, where, you know, you're trying to model after certain, I'm going to say it this way. Of course, this part might not resonate for everybody, but it's like you might be trying to model after, like, let's say your parents' marriage. If your parents had a very healthy, happy relationship. Like, for some reason, it's just reminding me of when people will be like, oh, my parents have been married for 50 years, and I'm trying to find that person that I can be with for 50 years, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's kind of what that is bringing up for me with that modeling after others. So I hope that that makes sense in some way, shape, or form. And then the last card that we have to jump out is What a Catch. And What a Catch is bringing up an ideal partner or mate, abundance, self-esteem, value. The answer is yes in marriage material. I do feel that you and your person that you've been seeing or are in this connection with, or again, that you've been in a more serious connection with for a hot minute now, the both of you look at one another as marriage material. The both of you look at one another as life partners. The both of you look at one another and see that your future is with one another. So overall, this seems to be a very happy and healthy relationship that the two of you are forming here. I feel like you guys are deepening the level of commitment within this connection. And your person's very focused on doing that. Like, that's like their next course of action in regard to this connection. So all in all, I do hope that that makes sense, my pile ones. Thank you so, so much for allowing me to do such a lovely little love reading. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello, pile two, my snowflake obsidian pile. Let's take a look at what your person is currently thinking about you and about the connection that you both share. Okay, my pile twos, let's see. What is your person currently thinking? Okay, we start out with the Sun. Oh. The Strength card flying to the floor. And we have the King of Cups. So, my pile twos, we are now on pile two. I feel like this person is really trying to, like, I feel like pile one kind of had like a similar message, but it's like this person's trying to move this connection forward. I feel like their current thoughts about the connection when it comes to the sun is that you and they have a very open and honest connection with one another. The sun is a card of authenticity. So to me, that's going to signify that your person feels like they can be honest with you. They can be authentic with you. I would say that similarly to pile one, because they also had this message come through. Like there's a lot of honesty within this connection. The communication between you both is extremely healthy. Some might say it's strong. We have the strength card indicating that there is a huge amount of attraction toward you. Also the fact that they feel like they could be emotionally vulnerable with you, which leads back to that authenticity of the sun. And then we've got the King of Cups, and the King of Cups to me is representing the emotional bond that the two of you have and the emotional investment that you both have already made in regard to this connection. And I feel like that bond is growing, that bond is deepening. This person's wanting to move things forward. I feel like even when it comes to the strength card, strength, of course, it'll bring up inner strength and confidence and courage and all of that jazz. And I feel like at this point in time, something that your person's thinking about is how they now have the confidence in this connection to move it forward. And part of that could be that maybe we've been in this phase. Maybe we've been even like, for some of us, it's like the talking phase, where now this person has enough confidence in the connection to move it forward, especially for those connections. Of course, this might not resonate with everybody, so take what resonates, leave the rest. But for those of us that have maybe been in the talking phase or even like the early dating stages with this person's feeling a lot more confident in moving the connection forward now. And I feel like part of that is because of the honesty and the authenticity. It's partly the open and healthy dialogue that exists between the both of you. I feel like they're confident in their own feelings, and they're confident that you are feeling the same way about them. I feel like the emotional bond between the both of you has been growing and evolving, and I feel like they're at this point in time where they don't want to hold back anymore. It's reminding me of this one messages from your person card that says something along the lines of like, I want to be authentic, I'm no longer afraid. And I kind of feel like that's the exact same vibe that's coming through here from your person, in whatever way it of course would make sense for your connection. That's something that I'm picking up on like very strongly, that I want to be authentic, I'm no longer afraid. And I feel like when it comes to certain connections or certain people that might be listening to this, maybe there has been a habit of, or your person has had a habit of holding themselves back. Maybe this person at times hasn't really let their feelings be known, or still hasn't let their feelings be known. Maybe there's been times where you felt your person holding back from whatever it was that they wanted to say. And I feel like your person's approaching this point within the connection where their feelings for you have, hit a certain peak. And I feel like the chemistry and the connection between you both and the emotional bond and investment that the two of you have been building with one another, etc., and so on. It's kind of like, I feel like their feelings for you have gotten so strong that they're at this point where they are confident enough that you're feeling the same way about them, that they're not going to hold themselves back any longer. So whatever the case might be, I feel like we already have good communication with this person, but I feel like the communication for some of us is starting to get even better. I feel like for those of us that are, let's say, more closely connected or have a more established connection with this person's looking to deepen the level of commitment, and this person's trying to move forward with you in whatever way would make sense for the connection that you already have. Like, for example, if we're, dating, we're becoming exclusive. If we're exclusive and we've been together for a little while, maybe we're getting engaged or moving in together. And I feel like the overall, like, let's say the message is even well, not that that stuff's not exciting, but I feel like it's even more exciting for those of us where this is either a newer or fresher connection, or this is a connection where at times words have been left unsaid. Because I feel like what's coming up in your connection with this person is that they're giving you the clarity that you need. They're going to be authentic with you. They're no longer afraid or holding back on how it is that they feel. And I feel like you'll see this connection begin to progress forward very soon into the near future, because your person is, no longer holding themselves back. So I hope that that makes sense. Let's get a couple of oracle cards out here. Let's see what else is going on. What is your person thinking about this connection? We start out with the card Stoked. Which brings up riding the wave of positive manifestation, excited, dream come true, great things happening. And I feel like a lot of that is true. And I feel like even in regard to your person's mindset, your person's feeling a lot more positively. The sun at a base level represents positivity and optimism. The Strength card represents confidence and inner strength. The King of Cups represents emotional fulfillment. And I feel like for them, this is like this connection between the both of you is something in regard to their love life that is that dream come true, or it is that wish fulfillment for them. I feel like right now they're feeling very positively about themselves, about their own life, about the outlook of this connection. So even the riding the wave of positive manifestation, I feel, is making sense for this. And I feel like they're just excited it's almost like, too, like there's a lot of enthusiasm that they have to finally be in a place where they feel confident enough to like express themselves to you, or to move this connection forward, or to go after that like next level in commitment, etc., whatever the case might be. And I feel like ultimately the last thing on that card, there are great things happening, or great things to come in regard to this connection. Okay, we have the card Team Awesome, which literally says on it, healthy and open communication. Okay, so again, I feel like one of the highlights of this connection, which again is very similar to pile 1. So maybe even for you guys, pile 2, if you felt torn between the two piles, maybe there's messages for you in there as well. But for me, it's actually coming through as being quite similar. There's some differences, I guess, but for me, the messages are actually coming through as being quite similar, or at least from what I remember from 20 minutes ago when I started pile 1. The message is pretty similar. But either way, we have healthy and open communication, which I feel like is one of the highlights of this connection. I also feel like when it comes to this connection, especially if your person's been holding back on communicating their exact feelings, I still feel like there's a healthy and open dialogue between the both of you, because there's this indication of your person feeling very comfortable with you and being able to express themselves and be their most authentic selves around you, and that there is this deeper emotional investment or bond that the both of you have in one another, etc., and so on, whatever the case might be. I do feel like the healthy and open communication for some of us, especially those, let's say, newer connections, is that this person is going to be authentic 1000% about their feelings, which at times they might have held themselves back from doing before. On this card, we also have spending time together, compatible, on the same page. I feel like the two of you do spend time with one another. I feel like the two, and like that's another thing too, and that's another thing that leads me to say as a disclaimer, like take what resonates and leave the rest, because for this pile, as well as pile 1, there's absolutely communication happening. And for this pile, it's coming up like explicitly, like the two of you are spending time together. The two of you are hanging out, or the two of you are dating, or the two of you have been in a relationship and we're now moving things forward to whatever the next level would be for us. I feel like the two of you are highly compatible, and there are a lot of things that you are on the same page about. Okay, we move forward and we get the card Passion. insane chemistry, like each other equally, and having fun. And then we lost a card to the floor. Oh, my goodness. Kept slipping out of my hand, but we have no, you hang up. And that is lengthy, exciting conversations, a lot to talk about, into each other, meaningful, giddy, and a lot in common. Okay, so again, we get this indication of the two of you, again, being in communication, of having a lot to talk about, that there are these authentic conversations that the two of you have with one another. And something now that's become my favorite thing on this card is meaningful next to giddy. And there's this sense that the two of you are able to have deeper, more meaningful conversations with one another. But at a base level, there's still that chemistry. Like the two of you have I feel like this card kind of basically says that. It does actually. The two of you have a lot to talk about. And you can go from having a very almost like meaningless, funny, giddy conversation with one another, as well as go into these deeper, more meaningful conversations. And I feel like between the both of you, there's a lot in common. I feel like the feelings that you have for one another are equal, you know, in that sense of like that both of you show up for one another equally, that both of you have mutual feelings for one another. There's mutual respect, mutual trust within this connection. I feel like the two of you are highly compatible. You know, like the both of you are highly compatible. You both have a lot in common, whether it's conversation topics, whether it's hobbies, whether it's your outlooks on life, whether it is what you want for the future in regard to life goals and core values. It just seems as though there's a lot that the both of you have in common. And when it comes to your person, they're beginning to either open up to you more, which is one of their main priorities, or they are moving this connection forward, or, of course, and hopefully doing a combination of both. So I do hope that that makes sense in some way, shape, or form. My pile twos, thank you so, so much. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello, my pile threes, my sodalite pile. Let's take a look at what your person is currently thinking about you and about the connection that you share with one another. Okay, let's see what is on your person's mind in regard to this connection that the both of you share. Okay, we've got the Six of Cups. We have, falling to the floor, the Queen of Cups. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so finally a little bit of a different message, because pile one and pile two had very, very similar messages. But I feel like this one, at least we get a little bit of extra spice in, because I do feel like the message starts off somewhat similarly. However, I feel like with your person, it's a little bit of a rougher road for them. So I kind of want to start out with the Five of Pentacles, even though it came out last. I feel like the Five of Pentacles, it can represent rejection. It can represent feeling left out in the cold. It can represent some level of shame and embarrassment. And ultimately, what I feel like is going on with the Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups is that your person has either tried to open up to you or is opening up to you, and they know that you will be understanding because they look at you as this Queen of Cups. And even with the Six of Cups, like that, for me, what that could almost be representing here is that the way that this person thinks of you and looks at you is that you are somebody who's very understanding, empathetic, compassionate, sympathetic, with them. You know, like you've always been someone, you yourself could be a bit of an open book in a good way. This person feels very comfortable and very safe around you. But with that Five of Pentacles, there's certainly something that they're holding back on. And of course, it might make more sense to you. Like take it as it resonates, because for you, it could be something different than somebody else who is listening to this. Like for most of us, I'm feeling like this person might be afraid to show you a certain side of themselves because they don't want to be judged about it. For others, it could be that they're fearing rejection. And maybe with that Six of Cups, maybe the two of you all are friends. And even though you've never been anything but kind and loving and nurturing toward them, there could still be this fear of rejection that they have because they're not sure if you feel the same way about them. But again, for others, or even maybe for some of us in that category, it just feels as though your person is holding themselves back because they're either afraid of being rejected or they're afraid of being judged, or it's a combination of both. Like they might feel like, let's say even if the two of you have an established connection, maybe we've been dating, maybe we're even exclusive with this person, at times you might still feel like your person is holding back. You might feel like your person isn't being fully and completely honest with you. And I don't feel like it's in the sense of them being like a liar or a cheater or a scumbag. It's more so that they have some issues with themselves that they don't want you to judge them on. So I'm not sure how that makes sense, but it is interesting because it's like the Six of Cups and Queen of Cups implies that you're somebody who's extremely non-judgmental. But there's some part of your person, or I feel like mainly what's going on here is your person's been rejected or shamed in the past. And that's something that they're still grappling with. So like what this message is kind of turning into for some of us, again, I feel like the more established connections, is that there's something that your person is holding back from telling you. I mainly feel like it's something about their past or something that they've been through or some type of insecurity that they harbor. And they're still holding back from being 1000% truthful with you because they've been judged for it before. And I feel like there is this message of like, even though you're the most compassionate and nurturing person that I know, I'm still afraid that you will reject me like others before you have. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like that does maybe make more sense for those of us that might be in an established connection and feel like our person doesn't really open up about themselves or their past. Like the both of you would definitely have open and honest conversations about one another or like with one another. There's definitely openness and honesty because we do have the Six of Cups and Queen of Cups here. But I feel like this might make a lot of sense for people that are in a more so established connection where you've realized your person doesn't really like to talk about their past, or they don't like to talk about their childhood, etc. and so on. So again, take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm not sure who that message is meant for. I don't care if it's meant for one person or 50 people, but that's something that I'm getting very strongly here, especially for those of us in more established connections. And I feel like for you, especially since like we're, let's say boyfriend, girlfriend with this person, that really all this person needs from you is that same passionate or that same, let's say, compassionate, nurturing, loving energy that you've always given them. And they will hopefully eventually open up to you about it. But I do feel like they've been shamed and judged for certain aspects of their past. And that's something that makes them very wary of opening up to you about it, even if the both of you generally have a very open and honest relationship with one another. Now, even though I've probably lost some people when I went on that rant, I do feel like for many of us, again, maybe those of us in newer connections, maybe even those of us that are in the early stages of a more established connection, I do feel like your person is mainly just fearing rejection. They're fearing if they do take that chance. I feel like for many of us, we would be friends or colleagues with this person because of the Six of Cups. We already have a decent relationship and rapport with this person. There's a lot that we have in common, but this person has romantic feelings for us. And this person's just fearing rejection if you are to turn them down. So now let's get some oracle cards out here and see if we can get any other messages on either side of this coin. We've got the Shy card. And I feel like the Shy card absolutely makes a lot of sense. Honestly, for both sides of it. Obviously, it makes a lot more sense at face value when it comes to the friend or colleague that actually has romantic feelings for you but is fearing rejection, because this card starts out by saying nervous or too nervous to ask you out. And I feel like that's really the main part of this. But I also feel like for others of us, those of us that maybe it resonates with that more established connection where there's certain things you feel like your person holds back from telling you because they're afraid of judgment, they're nervous or too nervous to open up to you about it because of the rejection or the shame or the embarrassment that they have felt or put up with in the past. Okay, and we have the Boat card. And really with the Boat card, the main thing that I want to focus on is the receiving what you need aspect of this card. Because I do feel like this isn't really about like moving on or closure issues. I feel like it's more about receiving what you need and something progressing forward. And I feel like the more that you, again, even for both sides of this, whether it's that this person's nervous or too nervous to ask you out, or it's that this person is nervous or too nervous to let you in on something that they've been rejected or shamed for in the past. The more that you are this loving, kind, open, honest, non-judgmental, compassionate, sympathetic, and empathetic person with your person, the more that they're feeling like they are receiving what they need to recognize that you would never shame them or reject them because of whatever it is that they are sharing with you. So I hope that that makes sense, my pile threes. Let's get 2 more oracle cards out here from the other half of this very large deck. And we have proposal. Okay, getting proposed to, surprise gift, something that is proposed, things moving to the next level. And I feel like, honestly, going back to it, since I kind of like, I ignored it but didn't ignore it, but I feel like in regard to this connection as a whole, we are making progress with this person. You know, things are moving to the next level. This person might still be nervous to ask you out, etc., whatever the case might be. But this person is still planning on taking things to the next level in regard to this connection. And I feel like for those that are in a more serious connection or more serious relationship with this person does receive what they need from this connection. And they're wanting to continue to make positive movement forward with you. Love them and support them throughout the time that you both have known one another or been in a relationship with one another, etc. Obviously dependent on how you know this person, how long you've known this person, and what type of connection y'all are in with one another right now. The final card to jump out is love. Unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. And obviously for newer connections, that's a lovely message to get. There's absolutely a lot of attraction and chemistry within this connection. This person does want to move things forward. They're a little bit too nervous to do it now, but the more that the two of you spend time with one another, get to know one another, or are generally just in one another's social spheres, especially if we're friends or colleagues with this person, the more progress is going to be made in regard to moving things along. Now, for those of us, again, in a more established connection, I feel like the affection and the love that you have shown this person, the unconditional love that you will continue to show this person throughout time, is helping for them to realize that, yet again, they are receiving what they need, and that they don't have to be nervous or too nervous to share every aspect of themselves with you, because you are non-judgmental and you're not going to shame them or reject them for whatever it is that they have gone through in their past. And I just want to make one last remark about that. For me, this is highlighting something that would be traumatic. You know, it's not like they're afraid that you're going to reject them because they, were a player in their early 20s, or whatever the case might be. It's not like they're hiding some, I'm going to say it's not like, I feel like they're hiding, in a sense, a deep, dark secret, but it's more so a deep, dark secret that was highly traumatic for them. It's not like they're hiding another life, like they're hiding like a whole other life or situation that they have. It's not that they're a cheater or a liar or a scumlord. It's not that they were that way in their past. They're not opening up to you about something that was, let's say, rather traumatic for them, but they will open up to you about it in due time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense in some way, shape, or form. My pile threes, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day.